face, you shouldn't do that.
Well, her screen thingy isn't working all the way.
Yeah.
Oh well.
They're going right now. I can tell what they're doing the
Oh
beginning.
yeah.
Yep,
And
yep, we got it.
Okay.
so,
We'll be quiet now.
oh well, they'll be doing. God knows what they're doing. They'll maybe doing collecting money for Happy Time or something like that. You never know.
No, not yet. About to start.
Judy, that was God.
Oh, crazy
Oh,
guys, they're wonderful.
Judy, Bruce Moreland sends his regards. I was with him yesterday. He said to say hello.
Well, that's a long time. Yeah, yeah, that's a long time. So
Well, after 19 years, you've got a lot of people with a long time behind them.
yeah, that's right. I did. I just finished sending that thing back to you today. Just before I came on this, I've got that sent it back to you, Margie. So I think that
Oh,
takes care of the minutes, so they'll be ready for you. You know.
yeah, I just made a couple of minor changes.
Yeah. Well, they were the numbers, and I didn't have. That was the one thing. I didn't always have the numbers. That.
No problem, no problem, because it was a last minute change anyway.
Oh, yeah. I know. I know.
Online, we're starting the meeting, okay? Sorry, we had a late start because we're waiting for lunch to come, but we're ready to go now. I'd like to welcome all of you to our Rotary Club meeting today. We have a number of guests. The guests online I'll be introducing in a moment. But to start out the meeting, this is Rotary Fellowship Month.
Yep. That's great fellowship. Yep.
There we go. And this year, Francisco Arezzo, a member of the Rotary Club of Ragusa, Italy, has been selected by the board of directors to become the Rotary International President for 2025-2026. His message was announced at the 2025 Rotary International Assembly in February. And even though we have a new president, that message will remain. And for this year, it's Unite for Good, which calls on Rotary members to be a force for unity in the world, increasingly divided, that's increasingly divided by politics, geography, and ideology.
Right.
So I'm going to have Marilyn help us with the four-way test today. Marilyn?
Okay, of all the things we think, say, or do,
First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And fifth, is it fun?
Next one. So I would ask you all to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And what you can see on this slide is the flag ceremony from this year at the International Convention. So we're represented not only by the United States flag, but flags of other countries as well. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And our reflection today is going to be provided by Audrey Betcher. This one's on.
Okay. This one is two, right?
Okay.
All right, in honor of our presentation today, I am sharing a poem with you that I actually, if I was confident of my technology skills, I would have. I heard it online of the group of young women, young girls from Kenya. So it's much better from their words than mine, but it's a poem. Dear water, it was hard to get to you. Waking up at dawn, buckets on our heads, donkeys loaded with jerry cans. Miles we walked in the scorching heat to look for you. Dear water, at last you came. Sweet water, our backs are rested, the miles are no more. Diseases are gone, for you are closer to us. Dear water, you are such a blessing.
Very appropriate for today's meeting. Thank you. Next, I would invite Mr. Allen to join us for our Happy Bucks. You'll notice that our thermometer is down to 0. I'm resetting our Happy Thoughts fundraiser for 25-26. The current goal is again $1,000. So I want to thank everybody who contributed last year. For those who paid cash and gave John a 20, and if your dollar is still standing, you are eligible for your Happy Thought. So just please raise your hand and Frank will come to you.
That's right. Work this way. I see Lee hand raising his hand. Mary, why don't you start? You're good for the day.
Well, I am happy for the fact that since all of you were so generous, there are kids who are going to live and drink clean water until they're adults. Thank you.
Excellent. Please.
For this start off this year, I'm putting in $12 because this afternoon I'm at the end of the Minnesota Zoo board, and I'm gone there. So there's 12 from being there 12 years.
And on the water theme, right after the 4th, I'm going up to the Boundary Waters with my kids. So.
Carolyn?
My husband and I celebrated our 52nd wedding anniversary this week. So and lots of good years together and hope for a few more.
No, I don't need to say that.
I'll say something for him because my happy buck is Dad's birthday, George. His birthday is next week, July 2nd. I know it's going to be on the slides at our first meeting in July, but I want to celebrate his birthday. We've already had one birthday party for him. We got a few more coming. Dave?
So I already entered my happy buck, but my happy buck is for all of you to welcome my mother, who is here with me today. She is not 95, Dr. Allen. She's 94, so she's hot on your heels. Virginia Mortel.
Well, I'm sorry to say, last week I was prepared to give you $20. You had all the money you needed. And today I left my bill phone home, but I'll contribute the $1 that I did put in the bucket up there. We'll do better next time.
All right. We appreciate it.
Great grandchild, born in London.
All right. Great child in London. Excellent. Okay. Anyone else on this side? All right, John, he gets a good word here.
Yeah, $12 for the extra dollar in birthday. No, that's.
Okay.
Our kids are understand and nothing work.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, everyone. That's a nice start for our 25-26 year. Allie, I'm not going to ask you to introduce all the guests online. I'm going to do that in a moment.
Okay.
But if you could introduce the guests that we have present.
including your mom. Again, welcome. I understand you have a wonderful garden.
I love it.
That explains how you guys got so committed to the horticulture. So, second, is Mary Wellick, and many of you know, she was a Rotarian many years ago and in the public health department, and actually invited Audrey to go to Tanzania with her, how the ball got rolling there. Welcome, Mary. Any words?
Just so glad to see all of you again.
Great.
We'd love to welcome you back to the club.
Yes. And I'd like to introduce again, he's been here once before, Greg Hoskinson. He is a Rotarian from Denver. And we welcome you to Rochester and delighted to have you with us. Is there anyone else besides the people online? Special hello to Judy.
All right, so we have a number of birthdays and anniversaries. So we're going to have a special introduction today for some friends of Judy O'Fallon, who celebrated her birthday on June 9th. And again, I want to say happy birthday, 95th birthday. I think that deserves a song. So if everybody could join me in wishing Dr. Allen a happy 95th birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear George. Happy birthday to you. And then we have a number of anniversaries, mine included. But the good news I have this morning is we've had a member who had a change in her work environment with the American Red Cross. I don't know if you know this, but Melanie Cheta is the director of the Southeastern Minnesota Red Cross. But this year she had somewhat of a promotion. Now she's not only the director for Southeastern Minnesota, she's also the director of Southwestern Minnesota, and that also includes the Dakotas. So this year she has been extremely busy, and she had a conflicting meeting. I think it was with the Mankato group on Thursday, but that goes away, and she is going to continue with Rotary and re-up her membership for this coming year, and will begin attending our meetings again in July. So we are very, very happy to have her back. Next, I want to thank the White Oaks cleanup group, John, Woodruff, and friends. Here we canceled the cleanup that was going to be at 6 o'clock because it was about to storm, and indeed it started to rain. Well, John, as he typically does, got there early, and by the time 6 o'clock turned around, he had already, for all practical purposes, finished the cleanup. So even though it was canceled, we still cleaned up White Oaks Park. The next White Oaks Park cleanup will be July 16th, so I'd love to have you all there. So today we have a number of special guests online. And I'm not sure who the leader of this group is going to be, but I'm going to say, for instance, it might be Jim Hunt, who's the lead of the district grants team. Also joining us, and if I don't get everybody, let me know. But Margie Horning, Beck Dunau, let me see, Cindy Carlson, Ed Merrick, Valby Stephenson, Larry Prost, and Austin Young. I think I've connected with all of them, but I may have missed somebody. Did I get everybody? Oh, Lance Thorkelson. And Ashak, glad you could join us. Did I miss Austin Young? Did I say Austin? I think I did. Anybody else? Okay, I think
You got everybody.
so. Ed, I'm sorry, Jim. I'm going to hand this over to you, and
Okay.
you can further introduce people as to why they're here, and let us know why you've all joined us today.
Okay. Well, hello. This is Jim Hunt. I'm District Grants team lead, and actually default team lead of Judy's fan club today. So we're actually here to celebrate Judy and wish her well as she continues on with her activities. What we really wanted to say, there's an award we'd like to give to you, and I'll key on your tech guy to turn on. So we have a district service award for you, Judy. And it's really normally given by a club, but we said, no, this is a district-wide thing. You've helped so many clubs over the years, and we thank you. And I thank you personally as a mentor, so thank you. And with that, I'll turn it over. I think Cindy Carlson wanted to make some comments.
Yes, I did want to make some comments. Well, I'm a card-carrying member of the Judy O'Fallon fan club for so many different reasons. I love that we've worked together as teammates to do good in the world, and so much of what we do comes down to reviewing very important details. And there is no better person who has such a capacity for detail, laser focus on the particulars. Not only have you been a wonderful mentor, a wonderful teammate, but you kind of get the Triple Crown Award because you've also been our scribe, the person taking our meeting notes. And I think that you are going to be leaving some very big shoes to fill. But thank goodness you came up with this wonderful template for documenting all of the important details of our meetings and the grants that are approved, et cetera, et cetera. So with what you've left us by way of tools and examples, you're going to give us a fighting chance to keep up your really high standards. So thank you, Judy, for everything. Thank you. And God bless you, and wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. This is
But now I've got a couple comments, Judy,
You
before
can
you get to
close the
say
award
your
off and we can
piece.
see people.
This is Margie Horning, the District Rotary Foundation Chair. And I would like to say dedicated, compassionate, enthusiastic, thoughtful, thorough, diligent, steadfast, loyal, zealous, and especially joyful. All these attributes, I think, describe our Judy O'Fallon. Judy, you are truly a person of action for all of us in District 5960 and the Rotary Foundation. We have all benefited from your 19 years of service above self attitude and work ethic. Helping to merge the world community service teams for the three Rochester clubs certainly is an example of your future thinking spirit that has benefited foundation grants more than you know. Your enthusiasm for foundation grants is certainly infectious. The grants team, though, is forever and ever and ever grateful for your above and beyond work, keeping track of all the comments, all the conversations, and especially all the statistics each month and converting it all into a meaningful minutes for us. Truly awe-inspiring. How does one even begin to sum up the impact that Judy has made over her many years of service to the Rotary Foundation? It has been a true joy to work with you all these 19 years. You will be forever in my thoughts and heart when it comes to the impact that our foundation grants have had in the past and will continue to have in the future. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You will always be a Rotarian, and I wish you more impactful adventures as you move on to other service above self. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. You
Thank
can close the award.
Hey, Jim, this is Ashley. Can I make one or two comments? And I'll keep it short.
Go.
Judy, I just want to add to Margie and Cindy's excellent comments. Your gift as an educator, a mentor, a reminder of what compassion and unity can do. And I think, we will certainly honor and extend your legacy, but those shoes are going to be pretty hard to fill. Thank you again.
Thank you all. Thank you all. It was marvelous.
And from the Rotary Club of Rochester, Judy, we thank you for all of you've done. All right, moving to the next item. Does anybody have any announcements that they would like to offer today? Okay, I've got a couple. So we have next, the Rotary Golf outing is scheduled for September 4th at 1:30. It's a 4-person scramble, and it'll be followed by a happy hour and snacks at Tamsin's house. Please email Tamsin to sign up. There won't be a club meeting that day, but please lock in this time on your calendar. And then we have a number of our Rochester Chamber of Commerce events coming up. They're listed here, but you'll also find them in the Moccasin Flower. I also wanted to remind you, we go to the next slide, that our order deadline for the 100th anniversary commemorative book is July 15th. The cost is only $15. And if you use the QR code that we have up on the screen here, it'll take you directly to the page to order your booklet. It's a little confusing, but when you get there, just click on the register button in the upper right-hand corner, and it'll take you through the steps to complete your order. And I'm going to pause it for a moment if anybody is going to use the QR code. Otherwise, you can just look at your Moccasin Flower. That same QR code is there. Or if you go out to the 100th anniversary site on our webpage, you'll find the information there as well. So with that, today, we're very happy to have a guest online with us. And Audrey, I would invite you to introduce our speaker for today.
Courtney, I apologize. I don't have a copy of your bio with me, so I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself when you start. So Wine to Water, when Mary and I were in Tanzania, we had an opportunity to tour their factory in Arusha. And so that's where we met Wine to Water. And when I was there, I said, "Do you partner with Rotary?" And they said, "No." And I said, "Oh, you should." And I came back and Mary helped me with the grant, and Judy too. Judy was a huge help. With that, Courtney is, you're a senior development. You're going to have to jump in and I forget her title exactly, but she's here today to talk about it. And I'm happy to say she's also seen our truck that was purchased for Wine to Water. So with that, Courtney, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Sounds great. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks for the introduction, Audrey, and connecting. It was a treat to talk with you earlier in the week. And I'm glad Austin is here. He's my colleague on the team, and so he works with Rotary organizations in our region as well. So he's newer to our team, so it's just a great opportunity for him to hear and listen and be part of the conversation. I am the Senior Director of Development Partnerships at Wine to Water. I've been with the organization for more than 8 years now, but started even as a volunteer before then. And when I had an opportunity to go on a volunteer trip to Uganda, I was like, how do I work for this organization? So I stalked the website for a long time, and eventually had the opportunity to get a job with the organization. And as Judy mentioned, I'll talk about it a little bit more. I had the privilege to actually ride in the truck that you all so generously came together to make possible. We rode all throughout northern Tanzania in it, so I'll share more about that here in a few minutes. But let me share, make sure I can share my screen. Okay, can you all see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. For some reason, at any point, if you cannot, let me know. We're just going to talk a little bit more about wine to water and then the work that we're doing in Tanzania, and then, of course, the generous support from you all. We just really can't express the gratitude. I wish we had Emmanuel, our team leader, on this call. He's a hoot, and just how like the joy and the pride that he has in that vehicle, knowing that his team can travel more efficiently and effectively and safely, it is just amazing to witness. And so hopefully some of you all, I know Audrey and you said Mary has been to Tanzania, but the more the merrier, you all need to come and visit. So before I talk a little bit more about some of our current projects, some of you may be familiar with Wine to Water, but for those who have not heard of us, I would like to give just a quick overview. So we are an international nonprofit organization, and we're fiercely committed to supporting life and dignity through the power of clean water. And we relentlessly seek an end to the root cause of poverty by providing sustainable water solutions around the world. And we're really hyper focused on clean water through access, filtration, sanitation, hygiene education, as well as disaster response. So you might hear me say wash, and when I say wash, I do mean water, sanitation, and hygiene. So all of those, we can provide clean drinking water, but if people don't understand how to properly clean their hands or when to do it, or disease transmission, if we're not empowering them with the knowledge of understanding the water is even making them sick, then we're not fully getting to like 100% diarrheal reduction or improved health in the community. And so we really look at it from a holistic and comprehensive approach in everything we do, whether it's in Tanzania or in one of the other regions around the world, in the Amazon, Nepal, South Africa, Uganda, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti, and then of course, as I mentioned, Tanzania, and we're growing. And so that's a big initiative that we have to grow because there are 2 billion, more than 2 billion people around the world that do not have what you and I have. They cannot turn on the faucet to let clean water out. Um, I am making an assumption, but I believe if we're all in here and the Rotarians in this call, that we probably don't have to really think about water, like where we're coming from. Like, I definitely am grateful for it in the morning when I'm making my tea or coffee or giving my kids bath. I just don't think twice about it. And that's just not the case for so many people around the world. And so that's why we exist. That's why Wine to Water is here. There's just too many people living without clean drinking water and spending too many hours every day collecting water. These are actually some school children in Tanzania that, um, before going to school in their beautiful uniforms, they're carrying those cans. And if you can see, it's probably not water that you and I would want to drink. It's more um, looks more like the coffee that I had this morning, and it's usually very muddy, and full of turbidity, so material in there usually has an odor, likely contaminated because it could be from ponds or still water. And then in the dry seasons, the distances that women and children walk are even further. But what's really cool about the work that you all are doing, the Rotarians and Rotary clubs around the world, by investing in clean water, not only are you providing that necessary tool for survival, but you're also creating transformational impact beyond water, including women's empowerment, environmental sustainability, economic growth, improved healthcare and education, and so much more. Sometimes you just need one tool, right? Sometimes they just need water. So if the kids aren't walking for water, they can be in school. They can sit in a classroom. Or if they're not too sick because they have constant diarrheal illnesses from the water they're drinking, they're staying home instead of going to school. And so we're actually seeing kids having a significant increase in school days and their attendance. And so just by investing in clean water, and it's a solvable problem. And so Austin and I, we hope to work ourselves out of a job. That's what we want to see. We want to see all 2 billion people have access to safe and clean water, and then 4 billion people, as you can see, actually it's not on here, 4 billion people don't have proper sanitation. It's a lot of people that don't have toilets or sinks to wash hands. And so again, we're thinking of this as a whole comprehensive solution, whether it's in the home, the school, or the healthcare facility within the community. Okay. And to learn just a little bit more about wine to water, I want to show you this video.
Needs to have the basic availability of water. There is a huge need. Most of our communities here suffer from waterborne diseases.
That's left untreated. It's going to kill them. Water is life. It's life. Everybody needs water. You can miss other things, but not water. I had no idea there was women and kids walking 4 and 5 hours every single day to get something that I have coming right out of the tap that I've never thought twice about. I had no clue the number one killer of children, the number one reason why a child, even today, is not going to make it to the age of 5 in the world was because of dirty water. Water is probably the most obviously basic need of life, but it's also one of the easiest, simplest things to fix. One water filter can change the life of an entire family for over 5 years. You put a water system in a well in a community in Nepal and teach them how to maintain it. So the entire community of thousands of people now, they're good.
Availability, accessibility is an issue. But water is there.
We about to drill water as we promised the first day when we visited the school. We saw the place where the kids were fetching their water. They will not be walking that distance and they will not risk their lives again.
I think children will be excited to come to school and have clean water.
It's extremely important that communities be involved, be empowered in our projects. It's the people within the country that are helping their own people, and that is so powerful.
After disasters, wine to water is there. We found new opportunities out of disasters, new opportunities to help more people.
In the early days, we knew that water was just the beginning. We knew that if you put a water system in a community, over time, you would see a pretty massive change. The work that we're doing goes so far beyond the water that we're bringing.
Water is in the center of the circle, and then you have concentric circles, which is around health, which is around economic empowerment, which is around women empowerment. We work with children, we provide water, hygiene, and sanitation education in schools. Going into the community and giving them something is not a solution.
They need to learn why they need a clean water. Because if they don't know that, never empowered.
If you teach a woman, she teaches a family, she teaches a community, that educated community educates the whole country. Today with water, we are able to give them a voice of their own.
One small step can change so much in a community. And that's the part that is really amazing to me. Yeah.
It's very exciting to change such scenarios into a better environment for children, because honestly, I cannot imagine my child going through this. So it's exciting to be part of this. Yeah. Wine to Water wanted to be the voice for the voiceless.
we don't want to work only for the numbers or for the result or for the output. We actually want to help people.
Our organization is so much deeper than just digging that well. It's about the people.
When we see the smiles, that don't have price. It's really, really special.
Free what? Sorry, I don't mean to start it again. I love always seeing that video. It just really kind of brings me back to the field and the why we're doing this, why you all are here, and why you're committed to providing water and support to us recently, but that I know, like, even in the past, that's what Rotarians do best. So thank you. And knowing that Audrey and Mary have been to our ceramic filter factory there, it's actually one of many that we have. We have one in Tanzania, one in South Africa, one in the Dominican Republic, and we're getting set to build a new one in another country in Africa. I'm not allowed to say it yet, so TBD on that. But it's a really cool technology. It's one of our in-home filtration solutions we use. It's a locally sourced clay and using sawdust and liquid nanosilver or colloidal silver. And when it is fired, all the sawdust burns out and leaves like tiny microscopic holes that bacteria, protozoa, things like cholera, Giardia, E. coli can't pass through. And then anything that is too small is actually, there's a silver. The silver is like an antibacterial agent that is fired and it creates this internal lining. And so it kills anything that does pass through. Really cool technology. It's fragile. So that's why we only use it within country. And as you can see in the pictures, we use it in a bucket system. So in each home, we provide this, and it's usually phase one, right? We want to make sure if people are walking miles and hours to get clean water, at least the water that they're bringing, they can put it through the filter, and what they're drinking and cooking with is clean and safe to drink. And then phase two, we move into how do we get water and clean water access right into the home or right into the community or right at the school. So we're removing that barrier, the distance, the travel, the time, the exhaustion that the water crisis can create. And so, again, it's really cool technology. Audrey, did you actually build some of these while you were there?
I did get to the microphone.
Amazing. Really cool. They last for at least 5 years. We've been to some communities and families and followed up with them, and it's been longer than that. But we also can replace them if they do break. As you can see, using it in the classroom, and part of what we do when we implement filters or even holistic wash solutions like a borehole system and a well, and providing taps and a kiosk, which I'll talk about in a second. Wash education, right? Again, going back to the kids, like doing fun games with them so they understand what does it mean? Why is it important to wash your hands after you go to the bathroom before you prepare food? We play this fun glitter game that shows germs, and then we teach them how to wash them off. And our teams, who are all Tanzanian, so they know the language, they know the culture. It's so important to the success and the longevity and the sustainability of our programs that, they're singing songs in their language. It's just a really beautiful thing to witness. I hope you all get to do it someday. So this is Tabora B Primary School, and just for you all to get a glimpse of where, so you can see there's long distances, right? It takes more than 7 hours to drive to Tabora B, and this is one community, and we work in many of these communities along the way in largely Maasai and very rural, hard to reach areas right in the game park. So this is actually in the Serengeti. And our office and our team is based in Arusha. And so the truck has been so critical for us to be able to get out into these hard to reach locations. I mean, if there is a road, it might be more like a dirt pathway that's bumpy, and then during the rainy season, it is treacherous and very hard to get through. Actually, I was there in April. I got to ride in the truck, but we had some other team members, and so I was in the bus at this time, and our bus got stuck. We were in the middle of the Maasai in Esilele, and I'm sure we were a sight to see. But the truck was able to pull us out. And so, from what I was asking our colleagues in Tanzania, is that it is, we haven't had a vehicle. This is the only vehicle our team has. Um, so they've had to rent drivers, so it's a big cost, or they ride motorbikes, and they break down often because they're just not reliable. And sometimes they've broken down in the middle of the game park. The sun is setting, not a great time to be surrounded by lions and elephants. And it's just been such a blessing for our team to have this because it's reliable transportation. They know how to, it's up to them when they leave, when they transport. And because it's a truck, we can put supplies in the back. But it's also sturdy enough to get through to the hard to reach areas, especially during these rainy seasons or even during the dry times when it's drought. Everything is so dusty. It can also be really slick if there are some hills that they have to climb. So it's been a game changer for our teams. They just can get out and travel when they need to instead of having to rely on other transportation. And then why it's so important because there's so many people and communities throughout Tanzania that need access to clean water. This is the primary school in Tabora B, and before the their borehole well is completed, the next steps is to build the reservoir tank and tower. So it'll look more like this. So this is a community I got to visit, actually outside of Arusha. But so this is right here. This is the water kiosk, and so there is a borehole well that is dug and it's pumped up to a reservoir tank that you can see here, which creates that water pressure, that gravity system. And of course, it's piped down. So this is actually where it comes out is the water kiosk. And so during the school days, the kids have as much water as they can imagine. This borehole, the water will not run out. It provides 30,000 liters or gallon, close, liters of water every week. And so the kids before water, um, if the kids were able to show up, this is a school of 700 children. If the children were able to show up, because they weren't walking for their own family, every grade, like every day, Monday through Friday, there are certain grades that their chore, if you will, or their responsibility was to go collect water. The water source that they were getting, it was either runoff, if it was the rainy season, along the streets, like those little, almost like gutters along the streets, or they had to hike up. It's probably about 2 miles, maybe. They had to hike up and then climb into this like hole in the ground, but they had to like help each other. Like they kind of had to barrel out of it and climb on top of each other to get out and scoop it out. Nobody wants to do that. Children shouldn't have to do that. And they got smart. So when it was their grade's turn, they just didn't come to school because no one wants to be doing that during the day. Um, so obviously that was a problem. So kids just weren't even coming to school. Um, or if they were too sick. And sometimes if the water, oh, there was just no water. If there was no water along the streets, pouring down, and which most of the time there isn't, or if the farmers above had rerouted water, there might not even be water for them to carry back to the school for the children and for the teachers that live there as well. But now they don't have to worry about that. There's so much water that I don't know if you can see like back here, there's cornfields and actually it's right behind this kiosk. They're growing a vegetable garden because they have so much water. Now they are growing their own food. And so we're actually even building a kitchen for the school so they have a place to prepare healthy meals where they didn't know if they were going to have lunch that day. And so these kiosks are only available to the school during school hours, but at night, it's available to the community, and there's like a small tariff, if you will. They pay a small fee to fill up as much water as they want, and then that money goes back into just maintaining and keeping the water systems functional, or if anything breaks, it can be repaired using that money brought back in from. So it provides water for the whole community and the school of about 730 students. And so this is what water is creating and giving these kids an opportunity to not even have to worry about that. They can be kids, they can dream to become whomever they want. They can stay healthy and, reach the next school, hopefully go to university. And then the parents don't have to worry about also where their water is coming from. Women can get jobs, think about beyond tomorrow. So many people we talk to is they just can't ever think beyond tomorrow because all they have to think about is survival or where they're going to get water from. How far are they going to have to go to get water? And that's just not a reality. And so, for these school children in Tabora B, again, the well is drilled and they have filters. And so next step is getting that tank, the tower, and that water kiosk so they can turn the taps on and water can just pour out. And again, that's actually Emmanuel. He's our Tanzanian country director, and that is Richard in the white shirt in the back. He is our president of Wine to Water. And so they were really happy driving that truck around. So I want to share that with you all because without your support, they would probably still be relying on third-party transportation, paying for others to take them out, renting vehicles that are unreliable, creating inefficient work. So because we have a vehicle, we can reach more people and more communities, and the team has huge goals this coming year, which starts for us next week. So I just want to thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, from everyone at Wine to Water for coming together and making this dream possible. We couldn't have done it without you. So I just want to open it up to any questions that you all may have. Yes, Larry. Let's see, I'm going to stop sharing.
Did somebody online have a question?
I think I saw.
He's muted. Larry's muted.
Try to stop.
Let's take a question from the room first, and we'll get back to Larry when he's able to unmute. Okay. Yes.
Thank you for the discussion so far. You make me curious. How large is the community? And could you elaborate on what it's like to live there? What's their economy, their lifestyle? What do they do on an ordinary day? Just more insight on what kind of a life do they live?
Great question. Thank you. So for Tabora B, the picture of some of the school children, I think that school has 500 students, and then the community at large is a few thousand. And so this community, they are Maasai, and so they are a nomadic. Historically, they're a nomadic tribe, but due to geopolitical situations or just living in the game park, they've kind of just tended to stay within their community. They don't really travel from region to region anymore. They travel within, that rarely localized. But so their day to day, they still live in thatched huts. That is their preference. And a big challenge, but also exciting solution that our teams have come up with. So Maasai, they use cattle. So their cattle are like their pride and joy. It's their value system. And it's also their monetary exchange. So they use cattle to exchange. It's their inheritance. It's their status. Their cattle is everything to them. And so when we were doing some of these systems out there, when we were digging the well, we would come back after a long time. We figured out there was really high, like deathly high rates of fluoride in the water in the system. So then we had to actually engineer and do a reverse osmosis system to remove the fluoride so it was safe to drink. But then our team came back and was like, wait, why are you guys still walking? They'd be like, why are you walking, you know, in the dry season? They were walking 15 miles. And they're like, well, we have to take the cattle to drink. Like they're so important. They have to have water. And we're like, you're right, they do. and like if you're still walking because your cattle need water or you're still sharing a water source with your cattle, that's also not, something that we want to avoid and mitigate. And so came back to the drawing board. So then we're like, okay, we had to create separate troughs and watering systems and tools or solutions for the cattle to drink. So the communities weren't also walking so far, or they weren't cross-contaminating and sharing the same water source. So largely, huts, these kids are going to school within that community in the game park. Some of them grow up to be like safari guides and tour guides if they're in that area. And I think even more so, it is still common practice for like culturally that men have multiple wives, but in some communities we work in, the chieftains are even trying to change that and even reduce some of that practice, just trying to actually create less burden on the resources and the systems at play. And so this coming year, we're also moving into a lot of pilot bathrooms and latrines within these Maasai communities and see what system works best for the environment at large, but also knowing culturally appropriate, right? Like they don't want something in their home. They're very small bomas. And so what does that look like to have an outhouse and how does that make sense for them and what's functional? I hope I answered your question.
Good question. We have time for one more question, and then I have a couple of meeting items to finish with.
So I don't have a question, but I do want to highlight the fact that for the grant last year, not only was it our club, it was Greater Rochester Rotary, the Rotary Risers, Elk River, Prior Lakes, Stillwater Sunrise, White Bear Lake, Lakeville, and Northfield all contributed to this project.
Amazing.
Excellent. So we want to thank you very, very much for your presentation. This shows what Rotary can do with district grants. And as you're aware from the earlier presentation, we have the whole district grants team online. They were here.
Amazing. Well, thank you all so much for letting us share more about the impact of your work and what you're doing. And it's amazing to see so many entities come together for a common good and for a common purpose. And we'll keep you all updated on how the truck is doing and performing and how it makes our teams effectively reach more people with access to clean water. So thank you. If there's any other questions, thoughts, reflections, Audrey has my email address. Please do not hesitate to reach out. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
So two more meeting items. One is very important, and I'm going to hold that to last. But before I get there, we had one more guest arrive. I wanted Allie to have an opportunity to introduce.
Welcome, Larry Kinsey. I understand you are a Rotarian from Berkeley.
Yes.
And we're delighted that you've chosen to come to our Rotary meeting. Do you want to tell me a little bit about what you're here for?
I met John Woodruff at the RAC, and he invited me to a meeting. I was a member of the Greater Rochester Rotary years prior, and then I went to California for 8 years. Now I was a member of the Berkeley Rotary, and I'm back in Rochester now.
Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
And we'd love to have you as a member.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So here's the one last item that I want you to leave with. On your table, you'll find a menu. What we're going to do going forward versus having a buffet, we have many people here with different tastes in food, different dietary needs. And at one of our last meetings, we had Vicki Allen and a group of folks that were with her And the first question was, do you guys like mushrooms? Because that was in the beef stroganoff, and they said no. So they ordered off the menu. And we've had a number of meetings where we've had a lot of people order off the menu. Today, I think we did pretty good, or order just from the buffet, but we've had a number of folks that didn't order their meal because it was something that either they didn't like or that they had some dietary restriction. So going forward.
Thanks, Judy.
Thank you, guys.
Hold for just a second, folks. So going forward, you'll notice there are 15 items on the menu. So as you come in the door, as you're getting your name tag, we'll have you order from the menu 1 through 15. And when you've ordered from the menu, they will give you a number a laminated number that you'll bring with you to your table. So the waiter or waitress will know exactly where that meal goes. We'll still have the lemonade, water, and coffee to drink. But if you want to get an additional beverage, a Pepsi or a beer or whatever you would like, that you would order from the bar. So we will continue to have the water, lemonade, and coffee available. But otherwise, you'll be ordering from the menu. So you'll notice we have salads, we have baskets, we have the dinner item. The reason it's on here is because every Thursday, the dinner item is meatloaf. So because that's their regular Thursday option, they included that on our menu. Then they have a number of sandwiches and a few burgers. So going forward, this will be our menu for the club. Please get here, if you're able, a couple of minutes early. You'll be making the same payment. It'll still be the $19. That $19 includes gratuity and it includes tax. So it's basically the same as the normal price on the menu. If you include the gratuity and the tax, it comes up to about $19. So the same way, if you pay with credit card, it'll be $20 to cover the transaction fee, or $19 if you're paying with cash. Any questions about that? Because this is going to start at our next meeting, which, by the way, is on July 10th. I hope everybody remembers that the July 4th week, we don't have a regular meeting. That would have been July 3rd. So the next meeting is July 10th. Any questions? All right. With that, I want to thank you all for coming today. I want to thank Courtney for her wonderful presentation. And then I want to thank all of our volunteers today, our Sergeant at Arms, John Woodruff, the four-way test, Marilyn Deli, Reflection, Audrey Betcher. The greeter and introduction of guests was Allie Good. Happy Bucks, Frank Allen, AV and Tech Support, Joseph, and of course our speaker, Courtney. So with that, everybody have a wonderful day. All right. You too.